Boris Johnson speaking on LBC radio. And let me just sum up for our audience some of the things that he was saying earlier, saying the Brexit deal is basically dead, also saying that it would be bizarre if the EU decided to impose tariffs, and saying that his leadership rival, Jeremy Hunt, will delay Brexit. Emma Ross-Thomas, Bloomberg Brexit editor, is with us on set now. Stephen King from HSBC also still with us. Emma, did we learn anything new from Boris Johnson today?
We did learn that he wants to guarantee EU citizens' rights immediately. That's one. So when he talks about disaggregating the dead deal, one of the things he wants to salvage is the agreement on citizens' rights, and I think that's vaguely new, and it sort of shows, if you like, the sort of the liberal, centrist, progressive Boris Johnson that we remember from Mayor of London days. So, you know, there's that. In recent days, I think he's been stepping back from his no-deal rhetoric. It seems that he doesn't particularly... I mean, he says he doesn't want no deal. And the other thing we had on the radio this morning was he basically acknowledged that what he had said before about no deal and how it'll be fine and how there's this arcane bit of international trade law that would make it all right. It's called Article 24 for the geeks. He basically acknowledged that what he had said about it was wrong. But he's still, instead of a plan, what he's offering is hope. He's saying that there is hope, that it's a hopeful prospect that basically the EU would agree not to impose tariffs in the event of no deal. Now, the EU has said they're not going to do mini deals, no deal is no deal, and you would end up with, you know, customs checks and tariffs and all, you know, all that mess, if you like, for international trade.
Yeah, and at the same time, he did reiterate that the UK is going to leave on October 31st, yet that he only wants to keep some parts of the Brexit deal. So you wonder how that all is going to square up. How does this all square up for sterling in the weeks and months ahead, Stephen?
Well, sterling hasn't had a great run recently, and it's fair to say that I think a lot of investors obviously are worried about the possibility of a no-deal Brexit, and our currency strategists would think that in the event of a no-deal Brexit, sterling effectively plunges. It drops down to 110, 115 against the dollar, a really very big drop from where we are currently. But of course, there's another issue there, which is that whatever Boris says, what other people potentially say, there's the issue of whether you can actually get a no-deal through Parliament. The numbers don't really exist. There's a possibility that some Conservatives might choose to effectively force a motion of no confidence. The government then falls as a general election. So it's not clear that the promise of a no deal is something that can really be pushed through on the 31st of October. And of course, the EU knows this. So even though he wants to say this is a credible way of thinking about it, the EU knows that the chances of getting it through Parliament are actually probably quite low.
Emma, I know it's a slam dunk that Boris Johnson's going to be picked and all that. I'm looking at this from a distance. Why can't those against him coalesce together to oppose him? I don't understand why Labour, Lib Dem, and the 47 other flavors against Boris Johnson can't all coalesce into a combined opposition.
Right, I mean, unpick that a bit. I think I wouldn't necessarily say it's a slam dunk that Boris is going to be Prime Minister. There is still a month of campaigning, and, you know, crazier things have happened, right? So, yes, it's very likely, and you look at the odds and all the rest of it, and certainly what he's managed to do is create a very broad coalition of Conservatives who are willing to back him because they think he's a winner. Now, as to the opposition, where we do probably, as Stephen was saying earlier, where there is a majority against Boris is when Boris Johnson, were he to pursue a no-deal exit, then I think you would see a majority in Parliament against that outcome. And that's one of the things that we've been reporting on recently is, you know, the Conservatives, members of Boris Johnson's own party, looking at ways to even bring down the government to stop no deal.